it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in and zooming in on another viewer inquiry and question that we received in, and that was how to handle the quote-unquote flying monkeys of the narcissist or the psychopath. Those individuals who they basically have on their posse, on their team, on their squad. The people who are believing their illusion, their delusion, their values. The people who want to see things from the side of the persona, the mask, the lies, and not really able to embrace the softer side, the humility, the humbleness, the truth, the true human values that really are resonating with people who have empathy. And how do you really cope and how do you really deal with these flying monkeys? How do you really get a perspective on it? How do you really understand and put it all into an understanding that it's not overwhelming or hurtful to you or destructive or bizarre? So realize that the narcissist, namely, has a pathological sense of superiority and self-importance. Pathological meaning that they have an insatiable need. Insatiable meaning not ever really satisfied, not really ever contented, not really ever rested upon. An insatiable need to be the one in power and in control. So if you can really resonate on that and really understand that, this person is not going to give up that character. They're not going to give up that personality. They're not going to give up that charm. This is who they are. They are going to be and always covet and desire and work and fight to be that individual. So if you can accept that, you will know really who you are dealing with. And that no matter what you do, say, be, do, or become, you're not going to change the reactions or resonance or emotional relationship that you have with this individual. A narcissist is someone also who exemplifies a lack of empathy. They do not have empathy. They do not have the ability to feel what another is feeling. They do not have the ability to validate your perspective. There is not an intimacy. There is not a coming together of hearts. There is not a heart-to-heart feeling. There's not a feeling of shared experience with this person. You might be able to do things with them, but it's not really shared. If you notice, there's always going to be one leading and one following. There's not always going to be an even step. If there is, this person is going to begin to devalue and discard. They always have to keep one up. They always want to keep the score up. It's kind of like a competition. It is like a rivalry. It is like a sports game. It is a game to them. And, some people say, don't they ever get tired of playing these games? For the narcissist, no, it's a lifestyle. It is their life. It is who they are. And really, you can work and you can try, but you can't change it. All you can really do is focus in on changing yourself. So yourself is what you have, and that is your freedom. And as soon as you can really begin to understand, absorb, and connect with that, you'll begin to see that you have the key to set yourself free when you're around these people. And we talk about the flying monkeys and how to deal with that. So realize that the narcissist or the psychopath, to maintain their ego, to maintain their superior stance, to maintain their, executive stance in the group, the relationship, the family, the marriage, etc., they are going to surround themselves with people, ideology, and things that will keep a whole slew of numbers on their side, whether it's people, whether it's philosophies, whether it's religion, whether it's experiences. They're all going to go to validate who they are. And so oftentimes the narcissist will have kind of these shell relationships, very superficial, a lot of flattery going on, a lot of false compliments, but there's a lack of depth and genuine intimacy. It can be intense, it can be highly energetic, it can be highly superficial, but oftentimes it has nothing to do with reality or how they genuinely feel. The narcissist is able to put on a sham of feelings and relationships just for the outer appeal. And for most people who are empathetic, they are not comfortable in living that life. They don't want to live a lie. They don't want to live a double and triple life. They don't want to put it on and turn it off. They want to be who they are. They want an alignment between their body, mind, and spirit. They have a slow coming together and emergence of that. And that is your true inner power when all that is aligned. And the narcissist will engage to increase their numbers. So if you can have the power of 10 rather than the power of 1, to them, in their eyes, that's the better place to be. They believe in the power of numbers and the power of viewpoints and ideology that is strictly supportive of them. So we talk about the narcissist, the narcissistic supply. So they will, oftentimes engender others who will just go along with the crowd, go with the flow, who will follow the charm, who will follow their lead. The other people who basically, want to ride on the coattails of this individual, who would rather engage in that group think versus independent think. And I think that there's a real tendency now, because we are in the information age, to really embrace independent thought. Independent viewpoints. We see the reality TV. We see people getting more real, getting more honest. Really looking at embracing and being less judgmental, less, resistant. Because what you resist makes stronger. So the narcissists, they're going to put a lot of energy in these flying monkeys, the people who will come at you and try to be part of that lie, where they're not open to listening or receiving your perspective. They're not going to be validating you. They're not going to listen. It's just they have closed ears, closed heart, and closed eyes to who you really are. So the flying monkeys, it's just who they are. They're like an extension of the narcissist, who they send your way to basically, vote, once again, for the narcissist, vote for the narcissist, vote for the narcissist. So they can't be real, true connection in that specific way. There's going to be something missing in the relationship. You're not going to be hitting it on all cylinders with these people. So realize that's just really who they are. They're, little underlings of this individual. Sometimes you can't really get to know them, the people, for who they are. They're basically an extension of this person. And realize that the narcissist oftentimes sees others as extensions of themselves versus people who are independent, autonomous, capable of their own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and values. And furthermore, needing a validation of these. So it's kind of like the old... I spoke to somebody once. I had a client who told me a very sad story about her sister, who is married to a narcissist. And her first name was Linda. And, her husband always referred her to as Mrs. So-and-so, never by her first name. In fact, it's very sad, but it was written on her tombstone. She did not even have her first name. It was Mrs. So-and-so on her tombstone. I mean, it was just really, really hurtful and very sick, the things that he did to really depersonalize and give her a lack of identity that was anything other than her own. Everything had to be in a role to basically how she served him. Everything was about how she served him versus who she was independently as her own person. So the narcissist, oftentimes they're not able to see people as independent, other than extensions of themselves. So if you really think about that, that's really pretty intense. And so we hear about people, living vicariously through others. The narcissist, their children are viewed as extensions of themselves. So the degree to which they reflect their strengths, their needs, their need for status and being superior is to the extent to which they will acknowledge, approve, and validate those individuals. So even though that's very wrong, it's not, what life is really about. That is the narcissist world. That is how they view others, really. So it's important to realize this and not to get caught up in that trap, not to get caught up in the worry, not to get caught up in the concern that all this is going on. Do not be dismayed. Do not be discouraged by, this flying monkey posse. Stand in your own strength. Stand in your own values. Empowerment stands on its own. And really, when you can really understand and grasp that, and then you will really begin to live that and radiate that from your being, and you will no longer, once you can really understand that and live that on a day-to-day basis, it becomes with clarity of mind, thought, emotion, and purpose. And the more that you can embody that and radiate that and live that and be free of the negative feelings that come from the hurt, the worry, the shame, the embarrassment, or the negative validation, as soon as you can let that go and let those feelings go that oftentimes come from the flying monkeys and the narcissists themselves, and no longer be emotionally manipulated by those statements, by those looks, by those stories, or by the smear campaigns of keeping you cut out, estranged, ostracized. As soon as you can realize that you really don't want to put your foot in that puddle of lies anyway, steer around it. Really learn to circumvent that and really hold your own place, hold your own identity, hold your own power, hold your own values, be who you are. And that is your strength. That is your commitment to yourself. And that is really, a true connection and a true power. And that will give you true clarity, and you'll be able to see really the lies that people are caught up in, and you'll begin to have gratitude that you're no longer caught up in that, but you are really embodied in something a lot stronger, and that is spiritual strength versus spiritual weakness, oftentimes, which is exemplified by a narcissist. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.